I am Julie. I'm a mum of 3 wonderful children. I'm an ex-offender. I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol and have been abstinent for 16 years. My teenage years is when it really sort of kick-started. I think I always sort of lingered with the feeling of not feeling like I belonged or not feeling like I fitted in. When I hit secondary school, years 7 and 8, lots of playing truant and not turning up. I'd got caught shoplifting, started experimenting with smoking cannabis and just really starting to sort of stray in with the wrong circle of friends. And by the age of 15, I just point blankly left school. I was just a child runaway. That was probably the start of a massive decline. Drinking and smoking steadily increased until I'd found heroin. Along came all of the criminal activity and I got sentenced to a young offenders institution. I spent around 3 weeks in there and then got out just before Christmas. And again, my addiction carried on, so did my offending. September 2001, I was arrested. The charges got more serious and I was sentenced to 3 years in prison. A month after I'd been sentenced, I turned 21 in prison. So that was my 21st birthday in HMP Eastwood Park. And it was time, obviously I was clean, I wasn't using drugs, although drugs were available, it gave me time to reflect. And while I was in there, I got speaking to one of the drug and alcohol workers who, for the first time ever in any vocabulary that anyone had ever used with me, they said, "Have you ever thought about rehab or counselling or treatment?" And she mentioned that there was a prison in the south that I could go along and stay in that prison for up to 6 months and receive counselling and support. Making that decision to move to a new prison was really tough, but when I arrived, I was met at the door of D-Wing by this lovely lady, and she basically greeted me with a big hug, and she was like, "Everything's going to be fine," and I just felt this huge relief. The tools that I was given when I left prison was, no matter what you do, just go to a meeting. As soon as you get out, go to a meeting. That was it for me in my recovery, and I was around 9 months clean. I made a decision to leave Plymouth, to leave that town, and decided to move to London into like a dry house, an abstinence house. From there is when my recovery really started. I got engaged with volunteering work. I worked for a local youth organisation, volunteering, and then they employed me, so I worked with them. Life it's fantastic, and I just practiced the tools that I was given. As soon as you wake up, you make a decision to not use any substances, to change the way you feel, turn your life over to the day, and as long as you stay that way for the day, it's one day at a time, and I really lived like that for many years and still do today. Everybody has a story and everybody has a journey. Change is possible. You can do anything you want to do. I really feel like that's what Forward Trust's given me, that understanding of, I can do anything that I set my mind to do, really. 16 years clean and sober, 3 amazing children, head of recovery at Forward Trust. Travelled in this last 16 years to many countries like Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia, and had the most amazing 16 years with my family. So if it's possible for me to come from where I've come from, it's certainly possible for you.